You said you were at the funeral, right? That's very strange. Maybe we should all get together after school and visit Namiki-san's house. Shinta nods.
そうだな。教授が確かに見たって言ってんだし。
Yeah, I mean, since Kyoji's saying he definitely saw it. None of them is altogether denying what he said. That alone is enough to make Kyoji feel a bit relieved. Yeah, right. Thanks, you guys.
何言ってんだよ。教授が素直に礼なんか言うと、なんか気持ち悪いや。
What are you being like that for? Hearing you thank me like that makes my screen crawl.
じゃあ放課後になったらすぐに荷物を。
Then we'll get our things after school and...
あ、先生が来た。
The teacher's here. Someone's voice fills the classroom. Kyoji, you're not supposed to be here. His classmates... That's not normal. His classmates, which were spread out across the classroom, hurry back to their seats. Kyoji does the same and heads for his seat. But when he looks at the teacher's podium, he's rendered speechless for an umpteenth time that day. Is it Gore? Standing at the teacher's podium is Ando. Except he's different. He's taller than usual. And while it's certainly Ando's face, is that a mask? Someone's wearing what looks like a desk mask fashioned after Ando's face is standing at the teacher's podium. Kyoji looks around the classroom. No one else seems to think there's anything strange about this. He and Shinta sitting in their seats, their eyes fixed forward as always. Kyoji shudders. It takes all his mental fortitude not to burst into tears. He must be going crazy after all. Either his head or his eyes must be fried somehow.
さて、授業を始める。
Now, let's begin the lesson. Ando speaks up, but his lips aren't moving. In fact, not a single one of his facial muscles so much as twitches.
いや、その前に確認事項がある。
Well, before that, there's a matter we must discuss. Ando points at Kika.
そこの君、お姫様みたいな君、教授君をたらし込もうとしている淫乱娘の君。
She wasn't even trying to seduce him yet. You there, the girl who looks like a princess. The sleazy slut trying to seduce Kyoji-kun. You there. Ando briskly walks over to Kika.
君は実に悪い子だから、先生は君を食べようと思う。
You're actually a bad, dirty girl, so I think I'll eat you up. Kika stares at Anto blankly. Under Anto's unmoving lips, the one behind the mask opens his mouth widely. That mouth is wide enough to swallow Kika's head whole. The inside is a crimson red and lined with closely packed yellowing teeth. The tongue is bluish in color. Oh, like Demian has. He also has like blue inside of his mouth. Plus, that's not a mask. It's too fleshy to be a mask, and it has a flesh-colored cross-section too. There are some fibers he can't recognize dangling from it, dripping with blood. Kyoji can only stare at it transfixed. And though Ando stands there, pausing long enough for him to see everything in stark detail. Finally, he lunges at Kika and sinks his teeth into her. Huh? Kyoji jumps to his feet, kicking his chair away and then freezes up. Every pair of eyes in class is fixed on Kyoji, including Kika, who's smiling amicably at him.
神野くん、アクションスターになった夢でも見たのかね。まったく、君らしいことだね。
Did you have a dream when you were the star of an action movie or something, Jinno-kun? It does sound like the kind of thing you do. Ando clicks his tongue, his expression quite irritated.
遅刻、私服登校、居眠り。君は実にいいご身分だな。
Tardiness, showing up at school without uniform, sleeping in class. It seems to me you think you're above school regulations. Kyoji feels all the tension drained from his body. Even Ando's vitriolic sarcasm feels comforting at this point. He fell asleep. It was a dream, though he doesn't know when the dream began. Kika chuckles at him. Kyoji turns to look at her with a sheepish smile. There are sock puppets sitting on Kika's hands.
どうしたのジンノくん。
That man is off his fucking nut. He is so far gone. What's wrong, Jinno-kun?
居眠りしたんだ。夕べは寝不足だったからね。
You fell asleep? It's because you didn't get enough sleep last night. There's something linked to Kika's pretty hair. It drizzles down onto her pale face.
どうしてジンノくんは寝不足なのかしら。
Why didn't you get enough sleep though?
それはね、夜遅くまでエッチなことをしていたからさ。そうなんだ。
I know why. It's because you stayed up late last night having sex. That's right, that's why. Red drips all over her face, a darkish reddish fluid. It trickles down, forming long streaks, painting Kika's face crimson. A garish pink mass, flabby lumps of flesh, covered in reddish veins, drips from her head. Kika's pale blonde hair starts falling off. What? I wish they would show it though. Pieces of her scalp with hair still sticking to them cling to her cheeks like red fabric. Blood runs non-stop from the peak of her white exposed skull. Between cracked, shattered bones, Kiju can see bits of the same mass clinging to her cheeks. Kika's head is split open and gradually melting away. Her brain and the white bones of her neck are exposed. Small fragments of flesh spill over the floor as if somebody has spit out half-eaten pieces of meat. The stench is unbearable. Stench of blood mixed in with what smells like saliva. Smelling it makes vomit climb all the way up to his mouth, but Kyoji forces to keep it down. Shin stands next to Kika. He's acting like nothing's wrong, scratching his head with a smile.
教授ってそうだったんだ。そんなことしてたから遅くなったんだ。
Wow, Kyoji did what? Is that why he's late? There's a puppet in Shin's hand too. Puts him himself in Kyoji.
いやらしいな。がっかりだな。教授はそんなことしないと思ってたのにな。
That's obscene, a lose. I can't believe Kyoji would do that. Metallic stench gets even stronger. Blood overflowing from Kika's head reaches Kyoji's feet, lapping at him like a snake's tongue. Kyoji looks around the class, but everyone's staring at him. No puppets on their hand. Kyoji lets out a silent scream. Turns around and bolts out of the classroom.
無駄。逃げても無駄なんだよ。
Don't waste your breath. You can't get away from me. A sweet voice whispers into his ear. Kyoji bellows in fear, but the whisper in his ear, the breath tickling against his earlobe, they blot out the sound of his own scream. Sprints down the corridor, stumbling, sprinting out of the school with his indoor shoes on. He gasps for breath, looking back as he runs.
ジンノくん、一緒にお葬式に行きましょうよ。
Jinno-kun, let's go to the funeral together. Kika's voice alone keeps chasing him. He's so scared he feels like he might choke. It's Kika's familiar voice, but that just makes it all the more terrifying. He runs through the school's gate, but where would he even go next? Does he just keep running blindly like this? Run where? Kyoji looks left and right, wondering where he should go. A silver grey car comes hurtling towards him with a speed that blandly ignores the speed limit. Whoa! As Kyoji sneaks to the sidewalk, the car pulls over with a shrill squeaking of the brakes. The door on the driver's side opens. Wow, Yoshiki, it's almost like you didn't do your fucking job as a guardian. You idiot! Yamiko gave you one job, and that is to look after Kyoji. And you just let him, like literally minutes after she left, you just let him go outside on your own like a fucking idiot, and look what happened. Exactly what was to be expected. Duh. You fucking idiot. You are so incompetent. You are so fucking incompetent. You should not have let him go outside alone, or you should have come with him. And also the pendant, why the fuck did you give it to Yamiko? Old man, shut the fuck up, Kyoji. Through the sunglasses, Kyoji sees a hard glint in his eyes. The old man's sane. Kyoji's intuition tells him that much. What's wrong with you? Hurry up. Yeah, he ups his feet. Reinvigorated. These fucking words. He hurries over to the passenger seat, opens the door as Yusuke unlocks it, and pretty much rolls into the vehicle. The car immediately speeds away from the school. I'm safe. No, you're not. Idiot. Every inch of his body cries out in jubilation. Finally freed from such extreme stress, he starts to shiver. He sucks in air desperately, realizing that he's been holding his breath all this time. Tsukuyoshi catches his breath. He asks Yoshiki, who's driving with his usual expressionless face, "What are you doing at my school, saving your stupid ass?"
極限状態に陥ったら人間は誰しも慣れた場所に行きたくなる。マンションに帰ってこないからには学校だろうと思ってな。
When placed in extreme situations, people tend to go to familiar places. Since you didn't come back to the apartment, I assume you must have gone to school. Yoshiki's voice is almost irritatingly calm. By contrast, he just saw Kyoji completely panicked. The realization makes Kyoji a little frustrated. What's going on? You must have noticed something was wrong and come to school, right? Kyoji, use your fucking brain. They're not dead, duh.
なんか気づいたも何も。
I noticed something's wrong, yeah, right. Giving one hand on the steering wheel, Yoshiki lights a cigarette with the other.
お前が家を出てしばらくしてテレビや外の動きがめちゃくちゃになった。おかしいことに謎すぐに気づいたさ。
A bit after you left the house, the TV and everyone outside went crazy. It'd be hard not to notice something's wrong.
それからいろいろあったが、まあいい、後にしよ
I don't know what happened after that, but we can leave that for later.
う。それよりひどい顔だな。何があった？
More importantly, you look like hell. What happened? Kyoji briefly explains what happened after he left the house. Tells him about Aoi's funeral, the strange conversation he heard there, and how no one seemed to react. About the metal bear placed in the casket, about the pillar of light he saw on the way to Aoi's house. And then he told him about what happened in school. About Kika being eaten and Ando, about the puppets. As Kyoji finished talking, Yoshiki crushes his cigarette into the ashtray on his dashboard and purses his lips tightly. Hey, do you know what's going on here? Yoshiki answers with a sigh.
俺にも全てが分かっているわけじゃない。ただ、
I don't have a grasp on everything that's going on here, but
俺が間違いを犯したことは確かなようだな。
one thing's for sure. I made a mistake, you made several. Kyoji feels anxiety stir in his heart. As the vehicle drives along the winding mountain road, Kyoji looks through the back window. He can see the white school building. You can? Red sky hangs above it, far too red to be called a sunset. And just as they make a turn and the school goes out of sight, Kyoji gets the feeling he sees the same pillar of light that shot out from Aoi's house appear over the school. As they drive along the path, Yoshiki tells him with an indifferent tone what happened before he drove over to the school. He notices the abnormality shortly after Kyoji left the house and went to investigate the mansion's ruins. Police were inspecting the scene, but they were acting very strange. The officers were throwing shards of flesh and rubble between each other like beanbags.
野じ馬たちもそれを止めようとしない。全員が声を上げて笑いながら警官たちがやることを見ていた。
The onlookers weren't trying to stop them. They were all just watching the cops do that, laughing out loud. The heck? Yoshiki smiles bitterly. Where'd they get all the flesh from?
その後俺は館の焼け残りを調べようとしたんだが、警官に止められた。
Well, if I know. After that, I tried to check out the ruins, but the cops stopped me.
それまで遊んでいた警官たちも俺の方をじっと見ていた。その全員が仮面をつけているように見えた。
Same cops who were playing around earlier started staring at me. They all looked like they were wearing masks. Masks?
喋っても唇が動かない。瞬き一つしない。
Their lips would move when they were talking, and they didn't blink once. Like the Sandman. The weird scene in the classroom comes back to him. Andrew's face, which looked far too alive and real to me mask, and how he saw swollen flesh and fat covered in blood clots in the cross-section. Kyoji closes his eyes and shakes his head, banishing that image from his mind. After that, Yoshiki left the mansion ruins. No one chased him.
追わないということは逃げられないとあちらが思っているからだ。
Given they didn't give chase, they probably thought I can't escape anyways. Yeah, maybe. Heavy silence hangs over the car. Kyoji speaks up, hoping to dispel it. So, what do we do next? Where are we headed?
この現象が影響している範囲を調べている。
I'm trying to check what the effective range of this phenomenon is. Huh? Yuji doesn't understand what he means. Yoshiki continues indifferently.
俺たちの周囲で起こっていることなのか、それとも呉人町で起こっていることなのか、中心点はどこでどこまで影響があるのか。
Is this just happening around the two of us, or does it affect all of Kurehito? What's the epicenter of this phenomenon? And how far does the influence extend? Can we figure that out just by driving around?
わかることもある。
I can come to a few conclusions. Yoshiki points at the odometer.
俺たちが車を走らせてもう10キロ近く走っている。本来ならばこの山を出ている頃合いだ。
We've been driving for 10 kilometers now. Normally, we'd have made it off the mountain by now.
だがさっきから同じ道を何度も走っている。ほら、あの看板、さっきも見ただろ。
But we've been going along the same road over and over again for a while now. There, see that sign? Didn't we drive past it earlier? Yoshiki turns the steering wheel suddenly. Whoa! The seatbelt digs into Kyoji's flank and he almost throws up. Old man, if you're gonna turn, say
こ
so.
ちらからこの空間を脱出するのは無理だというのが分かったな。一度街に出る。
We know now that there's no escaping the space right now. Let's go back downtown for the time being. Don't ignore me. Yoshiki turns the car around and drives in the opposite direction like nothing happened. So you're gonna have to drive 10 kilometers along the same route to get back to
おそ
town?
らくそうはならんだろう。
I don't think that's gonna be the case. How come? Yoshiki says nothing, but true to his words, in just 10 minutes they get back to the road leading to the school. The school is completely silent. The pillar of light Kyoji saw earlier is gone. In the back of his mind, he thinks back to the endless staircase Aoi and him walked down in Yuka's mansion. The situation is very similar to that. The whole time is like Yuka's mansion. It didn't take long to get from school to the downtown area. It's a shopping district, same as Kyoji remembers it. This time of day, there would be a good deal of traffic, as people would be driving home. Despite this, not a single car is driving by. But instead, twice as many people are standing on the sidewalk. As they pass by in the car, every single one of them turns their head to stare at them. Kyoji huddles into the passenger seat, trying to make himself as small as possible. He hates to admit it, but he's terrified. Never before has he felt so afraid of just being looked at.
どうやらこの辺り全体がおかしくなっているのは確かなようだな。
I think it's safe to say the whole area has gone mad. Shiki speaks calmly. None of this comes to him as a surprise, it seems. I mean, yeah. Why do you think just the two of us are still normal? You're not normal, though.
俺に関して言うならおそらく石のせいだ。
Well, when it comes to me, it's probably because of the stone.
朝
Stone.
俺が夢川に渡していたペンダントの石だ。あれは曰くありの石でね。
The stone on the pendant I gave Yumakawa this morning. That stone has some history to it.
俺はあれに長く接していた。それがおそらく体勢を作っているんだろう。
And I've been in contact with that stone for a long time, so it probably made me develop some resistance. Kuji doesn't really get it, but it's probably like some kind of vaccine. The fuck?
お前はわからん。ただあの女はお前にご執心のようだったからな。そのあたりが何か関係しているのかもしれん。
As for you, I don't know, but that woman has some kind of fixation on you. Maybe that's related to it. He just doesn't really understand this either. He doesn't really want to admit that Yuka's obsessed with him. But sure enough, she made it loud and clear in the mansion. I want Kyoji. She continues moving on from that topic.
だがそのあたりは些細なことかもしれんな。このあたりでおそらく俺たち二人だけが正常だということだ。
But the details are probably trivial. What we know is that you and me are probably the only ones in this area who are still normal.
いや、あちらから見ればおかしくなっているのは俺たちの方なのかもしれん。
But who knows? Maybe from their perspective, we're the only ones acting crazy. You think?
おそらくあいつらは自分たちがおかしくなっているとは思ってはいないだろう。
Probably. They probably don't think there's anything strange about the way they're acting. Kyoji carefully sneaks a look at the town through the window. They pass through the main street, but the people standing there, here and there, are all staring at their car with abnormally rapt attention. It's clearly strange. Feels like the path is blocked. How are they supposed to make it out of this? Hey, what do we do?
まあわからんな。ただ基本的な方針はいくつかだった。
Well, I don't know, but I did come up with a few basic principles. Like what?
誰とも接触するな。どうしても接触する必要がある場合には周囲に合わせろ。異端となる行動を取るな。
Don't interact with anyone, and if you have to interact with someone, imitate what everyone else is doing. Don't do anything to make you stand out. Well, what you're doing is kind of standing out though.
簡単なことだ。さっきの群れに混じるなら、お前も周りの人間と同じようにポカンと口を開けて俺の車を見送ればいい。
But the thing is, they're always going to be looking at you, so you can't really look at yourself. You can't imitate what they're doing because they are going to always be looking at you. Like, you can't do that. You can't. It's simple enough. If you were standing in that crowd there, you just need to do what they're doing and stare at my car with your mouth hanging open.
周りの連中がクソを食い始めたら、お前も合わせて食え。
They all start eating shit off the sidewalk. You do the same and eat shit off the sidewalk. Koji drops his shoulders dejectedly. Yeah, but you can't do that because they are staring at you. You can't stare at yourself. Pretty gross example there, old man.
そのくらいの覚悟をしろということだ。それでどの程度の役に立つかはわからんがな。
But it doesn't apply to you. It does not apply to you too. Because they are staring at you. They are following you. You can't act like they are because they are staring at you. What are you gonna stare at your own self? Pretend you're an NPC when... No, you can't do that though. Oh my god, it's irritating. They're trying to be so profound in knowledge, but it's not. What I'm trying to say is that you need to be prepared to go that far. That said, I'm not sure how much doing that will help. This doesn't exactly inspire confidence, but sure enough, standing out in the middle of that crowd does seem like a scary idea, but you will always stand out because you... this is irritating.
そう暗い顔をするな。ついでだ。お前の行きたい場所に連れて行ってやろうか。
But he doesn't need to go anywhere. Where the fuck would he want to go? Where the fuck would he want to go? He has no idea what he's doing. Don't look so depressed about it. By the way, I can give you a ride to anywhere you need to go. Kirsten is usually kind, but he has a pained smile on his lips. Peter must look really depressed. Peter replies in a sullen tone. You say you'll give me a ride, but you don't even know if you can get there.
どうだろうな。もしかしたら行きつけるかもしれんぞ。何しろ敵は気まぐれだ。
He used to say, you can get there just fine. We're up against someone fickle after all. Fickle, huh? That said, he can't come up with any idea in particular. As he crosses his legs, pondering what to do, he hears the rustle of paper coming from his right pocket. Ah. He takes out the slip of paper from his pocket Kiki gave to him. It's the address of the hospital Akon is in. Think he can go there? Still driving as she glances at the paper.
隣町か。
It's in the neighboring town. It's a pretty remote location actually. I think this address is pretty far from the main road. Well, I guess you can't go there since you can't get out of this town. He just signs and closes his eyelids. The idea popped up, so he said it just in case, but he didn't really think they could make it. Or did he really want to go there?
いや、そうでもなさそうだぞ。
Not necessarily. The car brakes. It's riding pretty slow, so they get to feel the full impact of the brake.
見ろ。着いたぞ。
Look, we're there. Huh? He just sticks to the car window and peers outside. The sun has long since set, and in the darkness he can see the neon sign bearing the name of the hospital written on the paper Kika gave him. They get out of the car and enter the hospital. The empty lobby is chilly, and the eerie silence hangs in the air. The footsteps rebound noisily from the cold white walls. Can't feel anyone's presence in the hospital. Can they really just walk in like this? Could you guys the feeling there's some terrible trap waiting for them? So afraid he's about to freeze, but Yoshika's reassuring presence keeps him going. He hates to admit it, but there's something encouraging in his fearless conduct. Oh, frustrating, so the fact he's completely powerless in experience in comparison. Turns his eyes to the nameplates by the doors. There's a row of rooms with room for 6 name tags on them. There must be large rooms with patience. And while it's not likely they're completely empty, none of the rooms have anything written on their nameplates. But there's one room that does have a nameplate on it. Poor Akane-chan who's gone...